She sat on the edge of our bed, eyes swollen, voice trembling. I didn't mean for the brakes to fail. It was just supposed to scare you, to stop you from seeing the lawyer. She looked away, then back at the camera. I love you. That's the sick part. But I love him more. The screen flickered. Her face went dark. If you're watching this, Alex, then you found everything.
Blank spaces. The first thing I remembered was her face, haloed by fluorescent hospital lights, mascara-stained tears tracking down her cheeks. Alex, you're back. You came back to me. Her voice cracked as she squeezed my hand. I never left your side, not once. There were tubes in my arms, a mechanical beeping that counted heartbeats I couldn't remember having. According to everyone, I had been unconscious for 11 days after my car hydroplaned off the highway. You don't remember? Dr. Mercer asked, his pen hovering above his clipboard. Tall, with salt and pepper hair and practiced composure, the kind of doctor who looked like he belonged in a medical drama. That's normal after trauma. The last 6 months might be foggy for a while. 6 months, a half year of my life, erased. I stared at Eliza, her familiar green eyes now my only anchor to a timeline I couldn't access. It's okay, she whispered later when we were alone. We'll rebuild those memories together. Her hand brushed my cheek, cool against my skin. Something flickered behind her eyes. Relief? Or something else? I couldn't tell. 3 months into recovery, our apartment still felt like someone else's home. Photos on the walls showed places I had no recollection of visiting. A cabin in Vermont, a friend's wedding, us smiling on a sailboat. That was the weekend you proposed, Eliza said, touching the frame. We were so happy. I tried to feel it, tried to inhabit that moment, but it was like watching someone else's highlight reel. Tell me about it again, I said, studying her face. How did I propose? She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. We were watching the sunset. You said you couldn't imagine life without me. Her fingers twisted the engagement ring. It was perfect. What I did notice were the new patterns. How Eliza's phone was perpetually on silent. How she excused herself to take calls on the balcony, voice low. How she flinched when Dr. Mercer's name came up during my follow-up appointments. He saved your life, she'd say, too quickly. We owe him everything. At night, I'd wake to find her side of the bed empty. Once, at 3 a.m., I heard her in the bathroom whispering, I can't keep doing this. He suspects something. When I asked the next morning, she said she'd been on the phone with her sister about wedding plans. Her sister lived in Australia. It was mid-afternoon there. Another night, I found a text on her phone when she was in the shower. Same time tomorrow? M double quote. When confronted, she laughed it off. My meditation coach, you encouraged me to start seeing him, remember? I didn't, but that was the problem. I didn't remember anything. The laptop had been in storage since the accident. My physical therapist suggested familiar routines might help, so I pulled it out, powered it up. Most of my work files were backed up to the cloud, but there was a local backup partition I didn't recognize. Recovery Files 122523. Zip, my fingers hesitated over the keyboard. December 25th, Christmas Day. The accident happened December 26th. I double-clicked. Inside were hundreds of files, documents, photos, and a folder simply labeled EMDR_001. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, the therapy Dr. Mercer had recommended for my trauma. Inside were videos. The first was dated November 10th, 2 months before my accident. The thumbnail showed our bedroom. I pressed play. The camera angle was intimate, as if set up on our dresser. Eliza appeared, adjusting the frame, wearing only a silk robe I didn't recognize. He'll never know, she whispered, smiling at someone off camera. Come here. A man stepped into view. Dr. Mercer. He slid the robe from her shoulders. What if he finds out? Mercer asked between kisses. He won't. He trusts me completely. Eliza laughed, the sound hollow and strange. That's what makes it so easy. My stomach clenched as I skipped ahead. There were dozens of videos, some in our bed, some in his office, one in what looked like a call room at the hospital, dated December 27th, the day after my accident, while I was in a coma. In one, dated just weeks ago, they sat at the edge of our bed, my bed. When are you going to tell him we were together before the accident? Mercer asked, buttoning his shirt. Eliza shook her head. I'm not. The amnesia is convenient. He believes we met when you saved his life. It's better this way, a clean slate. Mercer frowned. And what about the engagement? That was to make me jealous, remember? Details, she smiled. I'll handle Alex. I always do. I felt sick. The proposal I couldn't remember wasn't even real. It was theater, ammunition in whatever game they were playing. The next video made my blood run cold. Eliza sat alone in what looked like a hotel room, speaking directly to the camera. He found out, she said, voice tight with anger. Alex went through my phone, saw the texts. He's meeting with his lawyer tomorrow morning. She laughed bitterly. After everything I've done for him, he thinks he can just walk away, expose everything? I checked the date, December 25th, the day before my accident. In another video, Mercer paced back and forth. This is getting out of control, Eliza. He's threatening to report me to the medical board. Let me handle it, she replied. I have a plan. The screen went black, but their voices continued. What does that mean? Mercer asked. It means sometimes accidents happen, she replied, especially on rainy nights on Mountain Road. When Eliza came home, I had the video paused on our television screen, her and Mercer frozen in betrayal. What's this? She asked, keys still dangling from her fingers. Her pupils dilated, but otherwise, her face remained unnervingly calm. You tell me. She stared for a long moment, then her face transformed. First shock, then calculation, then tears on command. Alex, I can explain. I was so alone, so terrified. This was before the accident. Her face hardened. You don't understand what it's been like. Stuck with you, watching you struggle to remember the simplest things. While you fucked my surgeon, the man who operated on my brain, I thought you were going to die, she shouted. Do you know what it's like sitting by that hospital bed day after day? He was there for me when what? When I was unconscious, fighting to survive? She collected herself, voice suddenly calm. You're not the same person anymore, Alex. That accident changed you, changed us. No, I said. The accident just kept me from seeing who you really are. Her mask slipped, just for a second, but in that moment I saw it, contempt, as if I were nothing but an inconvenience to her real life. We can work through this, she said, reaching for my hand. We can see a counselor, start fresh. I pulled away. I don't even know who you are. I'm the woman who nursed you back to health for 3 months. Her voice cracked. Doesn't that count for anything? I played another video, one where she and Mercer laughed about my progress reports. He's still so confused, she'd said. It's perfect. She lunged for the remote, but I held it away. Stop it. You don't understand. I understand enough. The engagement was fake, to make him jealous. That's not, and the accident? Sometimes accidents happen. That's what you said, the night before I crashed. Her face went white. You don't have proof of anything. I have enough. I stood up. Get out. Alex, get out. She backed away, hands raised. You need help, Alex. This paranoia, it's part of your brain injury. Dr. Mercer warned me this might happen. Did he warn you I might find the videos too? Something dangerous flashed in her eyes. No one will believe you, not with your condition, your memory problems. They don't need to believe me, I said quietly. Just the evidence. I sent the videos anonymously to the hospital ethics board. Dr. Mercer was suspended pending investigation. A surgeon sleeping with the fiancé of his patient constituted grounds for losing his license. Eliza lost her job at the PR firm when the scandal broke. She left a single voicemail. "You ruined my life. I hope you remember that." I didn't call back. 2 days later, she came to collect her things. The rain outside had been falling for hours, turning the windows into shimmering curtains of water. "I did love you once," she said at the door, "before everything got complicated. Convenient that I can't remember." She hesitated. "The accident wasn't your fault, you know." Something in her voice made my blood run cold. "What does that mean?" "Nothing. Just, not everything on those videos is what you think." She left before I could ask more, the question hanging in the air like a guillotine blade. The police detective sat across from me, reviewing the footage for the third time. "So you're saying your fiancé and your surgeon were not only having an affair, but potentially tampered with your vehicle?" I nodded. "The brake lines were cut. That's what the report said." "And you believe Ms. Bennett did this because—" "I was meeting with a lawyer the next day. I'd found out about the affair. I was going to expose them." The detective made a note. "And your memory of these events?" "Gone. The accident took that from me. All I have are these videos." He sighed. "Which you found by accident." "Yes. Mr. Trenton, I understand your concerns, but tampering with evidence is a serious crime." "Evidence? What evidence?" "The accident investigation. It was closed months ago. Mechanical failure due to poor maintenance." "But—" "And now suddenly there are videos suggesting otherwise? Videos that weren't disclosed during the initial investigation?" I felt sick. "Are you saying you don't believe me?" "I'm saying without corroborating evidence, this looks like a revenge plot against your ex-fiancé, your word against hers, and you're the one with documented memory issues." Now I sit alone in my apartment, rain tapping against glass like disembodied fingers. 6 months of memories remain blank spaces in my mind. I keep replaying her final words, wondering what else I don't know. There was one final video I hadn't shown the police, the last one, dated December 26th, the day of the accident. I press play. Eliza speaks directly to the camera, eyes red-rimmed. "If you're watching this, Alex, then you found everything. I'm sorry. I never meant for the brakes to fail. It was just supposed to scare you, to keep you from going to that meeting with the lawyer. I didn't know about the rain, about the bridge." She looks away. "Mercer helped cover it up. Said it would look like an accident. I guess it did." She wipes her eyes. "I do love you. That's the sick part. I just love him more. But if you found this, I'm already gone. You'll never find me. And without me to testify—" She shrugs. "Your word against his, the confused patient with brain damage." The screen goes black. I stare at my reflection in the darkened monitor. The blankness in my memory isn't a wound anymore. It's evidence. Sometimes forgetting isn't the injury. Sometimes it's the only proof that a crime was committed. I pick up my phone and press record. My name is Alex Trenton. If anything happens to me, look for the truth in the blank spaces.
If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications.